Hi, this is Michelle with OWLET Stampers, and today I'm going to make with you a gorgeous card using the Celebrate Sunflowers bundle, which is a brand new bundle in our new upcoming catalog. And here is a sneak peek at the card we're going to make today. So I'm going to get started and show you these amazing products that I used on this card and showcase this bundle. If you want to get a free tutorial for this card, be sure to stick around to the end and I will tell you how to get the free tutorial. And if you haven't liked this video, go ahead and like that. That really helps me out. And let's get started. So here is the card we are going to make, and it is so pretty. And it features so many amazing new products. And the first thing that it features is this bundle called Celebrate Sunflowers, which, as you can see, is gorgeous. There are some sentiments and some sunflowers and leaves in here. And then let me show you the sunflowers dies. So these come just like this. So you can cut out some really detailed images that coordinate with the stamp set. There's leaves. And then this cuts out a big solid image, which I'm going to show you that I used on this card. This die, the outline of the leaves, the circle for the center, this one, and then this leaf. So that's what I used on this card to create it. We also use a brand new ink color called Cinnamon Cider, which is right here. And this is our card base. And this is just your standard 8.5 by 5.5. We're just going to fold it in half, which is 4 1/4. Again, all these measurements are in the tutorial, and you can get that for free if you stick around to the end. I'll tell you how. So here is our card base. And then I grabbed this brand new gorgeous pack of paper that is called Flowers for Every Season. This comes in a 6x6 pack, and let me show you. It's just so pretty. There's one whole side here, and then the back side is really bright and floral. So let me show you. I have this cool little tool that I made that showcases this, and this paper has all of our new ink colors in it. So here is this paper we're using today. There you can see the colors of cardstock that coordinates. And then on the back side, there's even more paper because you get 12 different patterns. This is the pattern that I cut. It's just very subtle, and it's that cinnamon cider. But that's with the whole pack of paper. The 6x6 comes with these very pretty patterns anyway. And this is what it looks like. So I wanted to show you that. So I went ahead and I have all my pieces in here, so you don't have to watch me do that. I have that piece right here, and it is cut to 3 by 4 inches. And we're just going to go ahead and stick that on the bottom of our card. So that goes right there like that. And then I wanted to add some type of ribbon or trim to go across here. And so I grabbed this scalloped linen that we have in all of our ink colors from last year. So this one just happens to be the terracotta tile. If you have any of these ribbons, the only difference is on the front it has the ink color. So I just flipped it over and used the back side so it was in neutral, and I'm going to add that across there. So I already cut a piece, and you can just grab, I think I made it longer than I needed because I wasn't paying attention. So let me just trim this down a little bit. And then I'm going to add it down with some mini glue dots. I did not cut that very good. Let me fix it. Okay, so I don't want the color showing. If you want the color showing, go for it. I just want that like neutral look anyway. So I have a glue dot on each side, and now I'm going to go across that seam. Looks like I didn't pick up my glue dot. Sometimes that happens. So there we go. Now we have that across there. The next thing, I'm going to show you all those pieces I die cut with the dies. And they popped out quite easily for me. So this is our label that we're going to use in the background. This is a Stitch So Sweetly. If you've been watching me, you know I love these dies as well. They're a must-have in my opinion. So that is going to be on the card as well. Then we're going back to our sunflower dies, and I cut this out in Daffodil Delight. This is cut out with the brand new in color Bumblebee, and you are going to want to take out some of those pieces in a second, and they come out quite easily. Maybe it's because my die is new, I'm not sure. And then you're going to cut another one in Early Espresso because we're going to need this center right here. And then that little circular die, this is going to go in the middle. And then I cut out 2 of these in Old Olive and 2 of these in Mossy Meadow. And then we're going to put them together, and it's going to look like that. So the first thing we're going to do to this is we're actually going to sponge it a little bit. I just wanted to give it a little bit more dimension. So I have our Stampin' sponges come in a circle, and I just cut them into little wedges. And then you can just use, this is, I'm sure, a retired punch. It was a tag punch, but you can cut strips, staple it on, and so it coordinates with all of your color of ink. I have Crushed Curry here because Bumblebee ink I don't own yet, and so Crushed Curry is pretty close. So I'm just going to take this into the Crushed Curry ink, and I'm just going to blot a little bit of ink on here to give it a little something. It looked really cool, I thought. I love, and then I'm going to go around the edges of this giant sunflower. So if you can tell, if it focuses, this is kind of what it looks like. So we're done with the sponging and the crushed curry. So now, before I go any further, I'm going to try to line this up because on my first one I had a really hard time. It does line up perfectly. There we go. It does line up perfectly, as you can see, but I just had a really hard time. So I'm going to try to hold it this way and then take the rest of these pieces out without moving it too much. So I kind of know how it goes. See how easily those little pieces just kind of pop right out. And then it went on, it's going to go on just like this. So we're going to need to add a little bit of glue to the back. So to do that, I'm going to just take my multi-purpose liquid glue. You can use whatever you like. I'm going to add some to around the center, and then just ever so lightly, I'm going to add just a little bit to some of these things. Now, less is more. You could also use a sponge and just sponge on a little bit of glue. I just didn't want to take the time to grab a sponge. So I'm just adding a little bit, and if it's not attached in all places, that's okay, because it's going to be attached mostly. So you can see I just have a little bit of glue. Now let's hope I can line it back up again. I gotta pick it up, which, see, I already moved it. I don't know why this was so tricky for me to get it to line up. So we're going, if I, maybe this is a sign of the times I need glasses. Oh my gosh. I feel like it seriously took me like 10 minutes to line it up when I did my first sample. And then I thought, oh, if you have all the pieces in here, it works out a lot easier. So here, we're going to do this. I'm going to figure out how it lines up with this one. I'm just going to turn it. There has to be an easier way to to get it to line up. Once you get it lined up, the card just like whizzes right together. Here we go. It's going to go together like this. So then this goes like this. Okay. Take these off. Get that off of there. Now it's going to line up. Okay. And my glue, actually that worked out perfect because my glue had a little time to dry a little bit and it sticks down perfect. Okay, hopefully you won't have as much trouble as I did. Now for the early espresso piece, we're gonna pop out that center. We don't need it. And we don't need to worry about all these little bits. We're actually just gonna come in with our snips and cut around. We want this big center to go around our sunflower. So I'm just cutting around. And before we, so you're just going to snip this little piece out. It looks like a little donut now. And then we had stuck to me this center right here. So we want this center that we cut out. It has little dots in it. And this piece is going to go in the middle. Let me get rid of all these little scraps of paper. This card can be messy. So I'm just going to throw this away so it don't get in my way. Okay, so this goes down in the middle. I'm just using the liquid glue since it's there. Just like that. I'm just going to hold it for a second. Now, this little thing, I'm going to take my little pokey tool and poke out some of these little circles so the yellow will show through. Again, you don't have to, but I did it. And the first one, I really liked how it turned out. And they do pop out pretty easily with this little tool. So I'm just poking them out. Or most of them. Almost done. Isn't the sunflower so pretty? Oh my gosh. And then the stamped, you can stamp them and cut them out too if you don't want to do all the, use the dies. Okay, so now I have so this one, I don't really have to line up perfectly or anything. It's just going to go in the center. And again, I'm just going to come in with this liquid glue, go around it, and then I'm going to go over the center. I'm just going to hold it for a second. And then you're going to just line up the leaves. Now, the leaves are really easy to line up because they don't have all these like different jagged edges like the sunflower. But look at this sunflower. It's worth taking the time to line it up. It is really beautiful. The same thing with this. We're just going to take a little bit of this liquid glue. Again, less is more. Just add a little bit to these lines. And then we're going to attach it down. This glue does dry clear, so that's awesome. I'm just going to hold it for a second. And there we have our pieces. All right, I think we're done with no, we're not done with the liquid glue. Okay, let's do our stamping while these like dry for a second. So what I use is this stamp set right here, and I grabbed the Let's Celebrate You. And we're going to be stamping it on our Stitched So Sweetly label. Now, what I did is it won't all fit on here, which is totally fine. I actually love how this turned out, what I did. So I took my Early Espresso ink and I inked up all but the word Let's. So I'm just like inking it up backwards. Just like that. And I did get a little bit on there, so I'm going to just take my little chamois right here. So I have my little chamois, and I'm just going to wipe off that part of the stamp because I don't want that on there. And then I'm just going to touch up the edge there. So there we have that. Now we're going to stamp this along the bottom so it fits. All right. Just like that. Voila. Then on a scrap piece of paper, which I have right here, we're going to ink up the lets. And we're just going to stamp it, and then we'll just hand cut that out. Okay, I cleaned my stamp. So it's ready to go next time because I know I'm going to be using this so much. This sunflower set is going to be so perfect for fall, I think. All right, we're done with our stamping. So I'm going to close that ink pad up. And now we can put all these pieces together. So this little label is going down flat in the center of our card. So just with your regular adhesive. So it's going to come down here just like this. Then we're going to grab that beautiful sunflower that we made, and we're going to pop that up with some of our dimensionals. So let me grab those. I have some here. I'm just going to put like a couple on the back. Dimensionals. My scissors almost knocked them off. Okay, so I'm gonna position your sunflower however you want. I have mine kind of going like this. And then we're gonna take our leaves, and I'm just gonna put those down with just some regular adhesive. And one is gonna come kind of down out here like that. And then this one is gonna go up kind of across. And I'm just gonna tuck it in there like that. All right, we're not done yet. We need to cut this out just with our snips. So I'm just gonna snip this word let's. Sorry if I got out of the camera view. And I'm gonna trim off the bottom. And then we're gonna pop that up with a dimensional. You can use a mini dimensional. I'm just gonna snip the edge, which is still too long. So I'm gonna snip it shorter yet. And then just take a little piece of this for the back. And then the final little embellishment we're gonna add, so I'm just popping that on right there, are these are called In Good Taste elements, and they come with some leaves, and this is what they come with. And I'm going to be using these little, like almost like little crosses on my card. And I got the idea from the catalog. There was a sunflower card in the annual catalog with a sample, and they had these on the card with the sunflower. So I thought, oh, I have those, let's add them. So I just popped out 3 of those. And then we're gonna come back in with this liquid glue. I'm sure they would stick with mini glue dots as well. I'm just gonna add a tiny little drop of glue there, and then one down here. And then I'm going to stick these little wood elements down, and our card is done. So I would love to know what you think of this card. There we go. Let me show you the original one next to it. I think we did pretty good. So yeah, let me know what you think of this card. It is a super fun card, I think. The bundle is definitely a must-have. So if you would like to get the free tutorial for this card, make sure you sign up for my email list if you haven't done so already. If you're already signed up for my email, then you're going to get the tutorial for this as well as 3 other additional cards that I've made using new annual catalog items. If you're not on my email list, click the link below so you can sign up, and then you can get the tutorial as well. Thank you.